Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into YAAWorkshop. This video is going to be about getting back into the BattleSight Zero procedures for this AR15 A2 style rifle. It's patterned after the M16 A2, which in the military would have a 3-round burst capability, in it. And but this one's Rock River Arms, so it has a extra, I call it an extra heavy barrel because it's almost an inch thick under the handguard, and it looks like a regular, I guess, heavy barrel, outside of here. So what I do in the video was I try to look up, online where the striker round should be for a 300-yard zero, and I found something that said it should be about like 3/4 of an inch or so lower than the center. And then I think I wound up in the video here, I got lower than that. But afterwards, we kind of talk about the manuals and what they say. All right, check it out. I forgot to run the elevation drum all the way down to the 300 yard setting and bottom it out when I shot this one. So anyway, I moved on to the next target after doing that, and then I was pretty much right on target with elevation and off to the left a bit. So here I'm trying to get the strike of the round to be almost an inch low of center, so it equates to like a 300 yard zero. I don't quite have that right, but this is me trying to get the group to go lower than the center, and I'm still off to the left. So now I'm using the bottom set of targets because I feel I'm low enough under the center with the strike of the rounds, so I start working on the windage to try to move the strike of the rounds, or that group move from the left to the right. Here's me doing some slow fire. Well, I think I'm checking that last group. It's interesting to note that my safety glasses are bifocals. It's a small area in the bottom of each lens that has a magnification, but when I'm looking out through the top of the glasses, there's still some distortion. I find myself tilting the glasses up a little bit to get a clearer view. But not down into the magnified area. So here on the left, I think I went 8 clicks right to get to that group. And then when I moved over onto the right-hand target, I think I came back 2 left, so I was resulting in 6 right. I can't recall now if I took it back another 2 to the left, but I switched over to the offhand. So here's the second set of shots, and then I have a graphic here showing the initial shots circled in green, and then the last group with circled in red. Alright, so saw the shooting and my target. So I had this M16A2 manual. It's dated 1986. And inside it mentions the United States Marine Corps 25-meter zeroing procedures, which equates to a 25-meter, 300-meter zero, where you sight your rifle in at 25 meters, and then your line of sight and point of impact, point of aim will be the same at 25 meters and 300 meters. That's the idea. And then there's a trajectory, curved path a projectile takes, where it'll go up and then it'll start coming down, and then there's like a depth that if you aim center mass, you'll hit anything between, and this is ideally like a torso. You know, you'll hit somewhere, like you're shooting at it, you know, you should hit somewhere on, you know, from there up, between 0 and 300 meters. So I'm like, all right, so that's what I was thinking of. I couldn't remember what it was, and I found this manual. It's a manual. So I'm like, oh, right, it's a 25 meter. They put these targets out in front, 25 meters, and I think it may not be 25 meters. It might be 36 yards, because then later on, some discussions online, you talk about the 36 yard, 300 yard battle sight zero, which is like the same thing. Projectile crosses the 36 yard target, and then it'll cross the line of sight at the 300 yard target with that trajectory. And this manual didn't really show the rise of the projectiles. In fact, there's a little drawing in the back, see if I can get it open, where they have like these trajectories, but this is for when you put the actual elevation on the rifle here, and it's got some notes about that. But only thing it says here is that the round will not go over the height of a man out to 600 yards. So that trajectory won't go higher than the height of a man. So if you're aiming at center mass, and these are supposed to be like 40-inch high, it's like a kneeling person. It's kind of what this is. So it's just kind of interesting. I didn't quite get at what I was trying to find out with how high up over the line of sight the bullet travels. Then I found this other book, Rifle Marksmanship, United States Marine Corps. It's MCRP 3-01A. So I'm not sure MCRP, it's probably Marine Corps or something obvious. Publication control number 14400009100. That's 4 zeros in that middle set of zeros. So that one, they start talking about the 36 yard, 300 yard zero, and there's a neat graphic that actually shows 36 yards, 300 yards, 4.5 inches of rise, which I think somewhere here it says it's around 175 yards or something. But the thing that wasn't clear to me, I wanted to find out like why they had a 250, 300, both meters, a zero, and then later on changed into yards. And I guess maybe the Marine Corps ranges, the no distance ranges, they're in yards. But and I even think that may not be as important, because let me find it. Because some writing here says only at 36 yards / 30 meters and 300 yards / meters. So 36 yards is like 32 meters. So I'm just wondering if that's like kind of a ballparkization. I don't know, I just thought of that. Kind of rounding down to 30 meters because it's kind of close. But then when it get to 300, it just says 300 yards / meters, almost like it's the same kind of thing. But 300 yards, 300 meters is 328 yards. So I'm not sure how many meters 300 yards is. I've been kind of going back and forth the last couple of days, just kind of like, hey, asking You know, you ask your the lady in the phone, hey, how many yards is this many meters, vice versa. This other manual, well, it's got 328 next to the 300 meters. There was like a conversion, and it had a little mark where 300 yards is like ahead of the 300 meters. So, but I don't have it kind of like the other way around. So this is what I was looking for, and so I'm going to just have to take the rifle out somewhere and put the target exactly 36 yards in front, do the zero procedures, and then I'll have a 300 yard battle sight zero. I'm almost close to the 300 meter one, but I'm sort of questioning because at 25 yards, I think 25 meters is 28 yards. So in the range, I was just short of that. I was a little close, but there's a lot of things that don't just match up with the procedures in these two manuals. Other thing I thought was kind of funny is in the big manual here, the initial settings, it says to have the 8.3. Let me show the rifle. The 8.3, when it's bottomed out, they want the 8.3, 3 clicks counterclockwise, and then bottom out, so I can't go clockwise. And then the other manual, the little one from 1986, it says to bottom it out and then go up a click, and then you do your zero, and then when you bottom back down, you're at your 300 BZO. And one of them says that just for that, when you flip down to the low level 0 to 2 sight, that's like a 200 yard zero. Now I can't remember if they're saying 300 like meters or yards, but I've only done that, or only training I remember was just for like nighttime. But anytime we did anything marksmanship training wise, it was used at the one with the small aperture. But when I read that manual, it might have actually been designed to the height of this, when you flip it, if you have a properly BZO'd rifle, that actually might be like a point of aim, point of impact, 200 yard zero. But if the 4.5 inch rise, if you have a 36 yard, 300 yard zero, using the little sight, you know, you'll have the 4.5 inches of rise. So if you're shooting something like, you know, chest level, you know, you're still below the neck, you know, at 4.5 inches. So you can shoot a little lower to increase your chances. You know, shoot like below the chest level for hits on kind of an ideal torso target. So there's lots of other things to shoot at, but just if you remember 4.5 inches, if you have a properly zeroed 300 yard zero, yeah, for 300 yards out, you can, you know, if you're aiming 4.5 inches below, you know, if something got closer or whatever, I'm just saying you raise your hit probability. You just have to imagine that shape of whatever that ideal target is when you're looking at different targets. Like, where am I aiming, and where's it gonna, like where's, you know, 4.5 inches above or below, you know, just to kind of get that hit probability, that hit zone, you know, without having to change your sights. But I would think that you should really go out and do the 36 yard, put the target there, and then if you can get to 300 yards, you know, kind of see if your rifle really is hitting there with that, you know, because when you do that, the sights close in, like 36 yards or the 25 meter or whatever, that's kind of an expedient means of getting that battle sight zero. You really should go out and check it at an actual 300 yard range, just to see if the point of aim or the point of impacts are matching your point of aim, you know. And if they're not, you can kind of maybe just it again. Maybe you could go back and not change the elevation here, but maybe change the front sight post, or find out without messing with this, because it might be a lot better at, like, you know, the closer range, 50, 100, 150 yards, you know. So maybe find out how many clicks back here. But I'm kind of curious. The manual here, the big one, kind of like if you put your 8.3 so that you have 3 more clicks, it gives you a little room in case you need to go down with your strike of the rounds up close. If you bottom out and only have 1 click, you don't have elevation to kind of adjust. So I think I may allow for fine tuning, but none of these manuals explain how they came up with the trajectory for the BattleSight zeros, and they're all different numbers. So, you know, gravity is what makes the bullets curve and then go back to the earth, right? So what I think when you aim these sights, the bore, your line of sight, and then you aim the rifle to account for that gravity, I think these BattleSight zeros are sort of fitting a curve, best fit curve for that, the crossing of the line of sight the 2 times. So you can have something you don't have to mess with from like 0 to 300. Pretty good close range before you start getting out too far where you might think about using holdovers or using the other elevation settings. So that's what I got into. I've been talking for, like, it looks like in this segment, like 11 minutes. So, wow, I don't know, I'll go fill up all the memory on the phone. So I'm going to do some more fine tuning with this in the future. I'm not sure when we get to it because got some travel coming up and stuff like that that's kind of impacted my ability to go shooting. So I appreciate you hanging in there and watching. So catch you on the next one.